Look.
Listen.
What?
You can't just copy me, Geese.
Clambos! It's episode 64 of Look, Listen, Cat. Oh, I did it again! Try that again. Take two, everybody. Take two. It's episode...
Look. Oh.
Episode 64 of Look, Listen. Pause, don't say cast. With Geese Guyera, where we
Pause, don't say cats. Pause, don't say...
We talk about Pokemon and other things, and there's Taylor, too. He's the one that keeps talking.
It's true. It's me.
You are both allowed to say hello. Hello, Geese.
Sorry, I forgot to log my bowel movement on my app.
Okay.
Battle movement?
My bowel movement?
Oh, bowel movement. I was like, oh, is this a feature of Pokemon Sleep?
I have not pooped yet today. It's still a little early, so we're going to try and get through this with no poops.
Welcome, everyone. This is a bowel movement podcast.
About Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, guess what I had for breakfast?
Probably Eggs Benedict.
Let me think this through. I'm trying to think of your digestive history. I know your favorite thing on earth is Eggs Benedict.
Probably 2 grapes.
Probably 2 grapes, huh?
Some type of potato. Some hash browns.
You're both wrong, but Guyera was the closest. I had half a bell pepper.
Yes. I was very close.
Wow, you were right on the brink of the guess there.
Yeah. Clambos, every week we have 2 sections of this podcast. First section's called Lookin', Watchin', Eatin', and the second half's called We're Gonna Talk About a Pokemon Episode. Let's start this week like we do every week with Lookin', Watchin', Goofin', Eatin'. This week, I watched the film Tetris from Apple TV, starring everyone's favorite man, Edgar Everton. What's his name, Taylor?
Taron Egerton? Is that him?
Yeah, probably that's right. Okay, this film, it's kind of frustrating, movies like this where a lot of it actually is pretty good. And it has emotional beats. There were parts where I was getting real hyped and I thought it was so sick. And there's parts where I'm crying. And I thought, oh, look at all these good portions of a film. Because now this is twice now where social media, Instagram or something, has just shown me a clip of a movie. And I went, oh my God, that's such a good clip of a movie. I got to rush out and watch it.
What was the other one?
It's a Brittany Murphy movie. I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my list of things to watch. It's not called Drop Dead Gorgeous, is it? I think it's a 90s movie.
Is it the one where she was in the institution? Girl Interrupted?
No, she has a brother in New York, I think, is the premise of the movie. Anyway.
Oh, wow.
Maybe it's Uptown Girl. Who's
There's
to say?
No way you got that.
I haven't watched it yet, so I can't answer too many questions. Let's focus on the Tetris movie.
Okay.
Now, this is an issue Taylor's going to be very familiar with. Geese is going to be very familiar with too, but I think it comes up in any sort of entertainment based on a subject you are very familiar with. But this movie would have been so much better had they not made the decision to throw in little video gamey things.
Oh, no.
Just cringy dialogue that somebody who actually knows anything about video games would just go, oh, nobody would ever say that. And then there's a whole big, giant, the climax of the movie, they turn into a video game thing. And just let Tetris be its own thing. You have a whole scene that's very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's very emotionally powerful. It hits the beat it needs to, just describing what's amazing about Tetris. Just focus on Tetris. You don't need the scene where you're talking about Zelda and Punch-Out, and you don't need the ending where it turns everything into not even what video games have ever looked like. Just this little image that looks like Code Monkeys from G4. Remember that show? Like that weird pretend video game look. It's pixel art, quote unquote, but it doesn't even look like any video game has ever looked like.
I always kind of wonder when I see movies that have that's not even esoteric. That's just because the video game industry is pretty big. I always wonder who they consulted for that and what the pipeline looked like for the idea changing. Because at some point somebody had to have said, this is out of touch. This is a very out of touch situation.
The person who knows that, though, isn't the person in power or the person with money. The only people that matter on the decision-making team are the power and the money. And neither of those people play video games 8 hours a day and listen to video game podcasts and know the culture.
What about me? I'm powerful and I listen to video game podcasts.
She is very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
We're all very proud of
And
you. And rich.
beautiful.
And very pretty. And she's still nodding her head, doing the eyebrows.
And
Very funny and smart, too.
And so hireable. Very regulated bowel system. Come on.
Anybody would want to be her husband or her child or
It's
the house she
true.
lives in.
Look no further.
Thanks, guys.
Also, tried to watch some more Twister, but I keep getting sleepy every day, so...
Well, what time are you watching it?
No, Taylor, we don't have to answer. We don't have to ask questions. But I had up until yesterday to finish it, but I couldn't pull it off. They removed it from HBO.
Oh no.
They removed it from Max. I'm sorry, everyone. I let you down. Tomorrow, though, I'm going to see Saw X or Saw 10, whatever they call it.
That's getting decent reviews.
Well, here's the thing, Geese and Clambos. If it's a horror film in a long-running series, it could have a 1 on Rotten Tomatoes, or it could have 100. Makes no difference. I just have to watch it for completionist's sake. The last Saw movie was not good. That was the first movie I saw once Los Angeles opened movie theaters back up, and you had to have your vaccination card show it, and you had to wear a mask the whole time.
That was the one with Chris Rock, correct?
It was. He paid for it.
I enjoyed The Nun too, quite a bit.
It was all right. Video games, just more shiny hunting and Raiden and Scarlet and Violet. Now that I got a bunch of salty Herba Mystica in my Japanese file.
Oh, what are they salty about?
Taylor.
I'm sorry.
On my secondary Switch, I can just keep doing the shiny sandwich trick, which is, and you girls should have, you could take advantage of this too. All you do is you get into a picnic together and have the file with the Herba Mysticas, add the 2 Herba Mysticas to your sandwich, and you got level 3 shinies. You're going to be seeing shinies everywhere. But the trick is, since the Herba Mysticas are so tough to get, the file that uses the Herba Mystica, as soon as the other guy eats the sandwich, you just turn your Switch off on the other one. So that way you don't waste your Herba Mysticas. And that's
Say no more. Luckily, I not only know what an Herba Mystica is, I know how to start a picnic.
It was in the anime. We watched the episode.
Yes, Geese.
I'm so disappointed in myself. I forgot to add a friendship incense to one of my sleepy nights because it's in Pokemon Sleep. It's the Good Sleepy Day event every month. I forgot to put my friendship incense, and so I woke up yesterday with a Claire Fairy and a beetle guy.
Heracross?
I like Claire Fairy.
Please name your fairy Claire Fairy. She's a girl. Or just name her Claire. Claire, first name, last name Fairy.
Claire and the baby.
I didn't get to catch them because I didn't have enough Pokey biscuits. And I'm so upset.
Geese, no.
This is what they call the plight of the powerful person. You woke up, you're disappointed in yourself because of your lack of friendship.
There's an update now. You can buy more biscuits, but when you run out of Poke coins, Poke dollars, Poke sleep balls.
Well, they get full is the issue.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. If you feed them a little bit, they come back the next day. And they're going to have their same amount of...
They don't come back necessarily the next day, but the next time they come back, they'll have...
Not necessarily, but...
Man, yeah.
And then I ate an entire rotisserie chicken because Geese dared me to. Okay, Geese, let's hear what you're...
No! He, like a crazy person, went to Costco, decided to get the rotisserie chicken, and ate it at Costco.
Where else
Which
am I
is
gonna eat
sick.
it?
At home?
0 dishes, though, Geese. No chicken bones just sitting in a trash bag.
Oh, gross.
Well, you use the chicken bones to make soup.
Yeah, that's not something that any of us would do in our
What?
big old pots.
You never made soup out of bones? Bone soup?
If I made my own broth, no.
Never made soup out of bones?
Because then you
I'm
have to.
surprised, Taylor, that you haven't.
Okay. Put your mind at ease. I, I- let me. Listen, Geese, I have considered it, but the amount of straining and clarifying you have to do to get a really good, clear stock is way too much effort. Too many hours. I don't want to just sit there for half a day doing this.
That's
Just
fair.
straining. And I don't really like meat. I don't like meat. I don't like looking at bones. I don't like bones aesthetically or from a meal standpoint.
He hates bones. What? You mean you don't like a sick bone armor and a bone
Mm-mm.
sword in a video game?
No, but I was actually watching a gameplay preview for Lords of the Fallen,
Lloyd's
which
of the
looks
Fallen.
fantastic. Looks so sick. I'm definitely going to get it. The monsters all have a very bony aesthetic. Something that I've always really liked about any kind of religious themes in something like Magic the Gathering or a video game, the idea of a super pristine, angelic kind of force fighting a big old scary scully demon. I always thought that was really sick.
Like a dragon.
And they have that kind of similar dynamic in the Underworld movie franchise, where you have the vampires wearing their sick suits and using their little knives and everything, and then the werewolves, which are big old monsters. One of the reasons I like Bloodborne so much.
Wow. Geese, let's hear about Downton Abbey.
Ooh.
So my mom is on her sixth rewatch of Downton Abbey, and also my sixth rewatch by proxy. It's just something to put on in the background. I'm just glad that it's not The West Wing, because that used to be her go-to rewatch thing, like
What
every
is wrong with
5
The West
years.
Wing? It has Martin Sheen. It has my mother. It has the guy with the scarves.
She does look like his mother. But you don't want to watch that. I never even finished West Wing. I tried to give it a go, but it gets kind of boring.
It's so boring and dramatic, and I hate the lighting. I hate the lighting in the show. Sue me.
You don't like walking towards a camera down a hallway, Geese?
I don't like how it's all dark and orange. I don't like it.
It is. So I watched that as a child as it aired. I would watch it all the time with my mother, and that's because I rewatched what did we watch, an episode or two?
The actors in West Wing have gone on to do great things.
Well, it's a good show. It's well produced. I think it's mostly well written. It does get very repetitive. Go on.
A lot of people had problem with Martin Sheen's pronunciation of a city because he pronounced it wrong. He pronounced it. It's wherever the main character is supposed to be from. He was like the whatever of a city, and nobody who is from there would pronounce the name like he did, so that got people in a tizzy.
I remember watching it as a kid. My mom would get the DVDs from the library, and I would have to watch it while I folded laundry. And so I already don't have a positive association with the show.
The two most boring things in the world.
That's it. And the fact that it was from a library just adds insult to injury, just to make it the most unentertaining. This is 100% educational on your homework.
Let's get into the minivan, drive through a school zone to the library, check out
exactly
the West
what we
Wing,
did.
and do laundry. Oof.
Little baby geese.
Also, I've been drinking prune juice, and there's a really fine line when prune juice becomes too much prune juice. That's all I'll say.
Oh no. I've had a lot of prune juice. My mom has digestive issues, and they always tell her to take care of that whenever she has surgeries. I love prune juice. It's never given me a experience at all.
I don't like prune juice. It tastes like you're drinking a raisin, but not in a fun way.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
Okay, Taylor, let's hear your Lookin, Playing, Eatin' before we move on to a very outdated Poké News of the Week.
I tried watching. I love Wes Anderson. There was a little short film he did on Netflix. I didn't know that it was written and directed by him until, I knew as soon as I saw one of the backgrounds, but I watched it, and it has a very good cast. And I think the story that it's telling is interesting. but the whole film is one gigantic sentence. And it's the most Wes Anderson-y thing I've ever seen in my life, and it's a little overboard. Grand Budapest Hotel, fantastic. That was a great high dose of Wes Anderson that was still very entertaining. There is no silence in this movie. It is one aggressive sentence. So I did not finish it because it was just a bit much. Let's see, playing Liza P, which is still fantastic. I just reached the halfway part. There's a boss that I just beat that a lot of people were complaining about online, but I thought was very, very good.
I thought that the game was called Liza P, as in someone's name was Liza. I just thought Liza P was like a character in Pinocchio that I forgot about, but
Everybody loves Liza P.
Apparently, this game is really faithful to the source material, unlike the Disney interpretation. So that's interesting.
is there a whale?
No, not yet. I have no idea. There's a big old city that's been destroyed. It's something that I haven't seen in a lot of the gameplay previews is it has a very BioShock kind of feel to it, which is really cool.
Taylor, do you have anything else to say before I move on to, again, terrible Poké News of the week this week?
I want to know about these meatballs.
Oh, the bad meatballs that I had? They're from Costco. I go and I see these ready-made chicken meatballs. I make my own chicken meatballs all the time, which are pretty good. So I was like, oh, these are cheap. They have interesting flavor combinations. Oh my God. They're so bad. No matter how long you cook them, they're always squishy. And they have this weird odor when you cook them. So I look it up online and I was like, maybe I just keep getting bad batches because I have had these before. It's just how they are. They're perpetually squishy. They always smell bad. People don't like the taste. And they say, I keep getting bits of bone and gristle in my chicken meatballs. So I get to deal with that nonsense with the returns process, along with returning a car battery.
Do you have a good chicken meatball recipe?
I modified a Turkish chicken meatball recipe. But yeah, I don't really cook with recipes, unfortunately. Anyway, I think it's time for
Poké News of the Week.
Poké News of the Week.
I had a question for the week.
Let's try that again.
All right, Clambos. This is, I gotta say, one of the worst Poké Newses of the week because it was written when we were supposed to record, but Taylor's mic goofed the big one. So this is a delayed recording. Now it's time for Poké News of the week. Nobody's even trying.
We already did it. We did it.
You waited till I was taking such a big gulp of water.
God. What do you mean I waited? Clambos, first up on the docket, the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet mass outbreak event has begun. Clefairy will be this is from Cerebi, by the way. Clefairy will be spawning in mass outbreaks in both Paldea and Kitakami until October 1st.
If you want to do your shiny hunting for Clefairy, now's the time. Last week.
Yeah, you should have done it.
Are they seriously called mass outbreaks?
Yes. What's wrong with the mass outbreak?
Just like disease.
No.
That's the first thing I thought.
No, you guys are crazy. It's not. This isn't a raid. This is just when a bunch of Pokemon appear and you can kind of shiny hunt them.
When Rattata is the outbreak Pokemon, they call it the plague.
No, Taylor. And here comes the next Poké News of the week, which was supposed to be positive news prior to it happening when I wrote this, which is the Van Gogh Pokemon collaboration. Get the card in Amsterdam or PokemonCenter.com. Clambos. Oh my God. Update to this story. It was a big, giant disaster. All these scalpers came from all around Europe to just trounce into this museum to buy up all the cards. And the cards they were selling on the website, they didn't even get a chance to enter the search screen or to appear on the now selling screen because so many people have scripts that just bought them all before it even entered the store. So no legitimate person got to actually purchase the card because all the scalpers had their bots buy them prior to them actually appearing visible on the store.
I hate scalpers so much. I just keep thinking of all the kids with limited resources or their parents have limited resources and they want to have an experience and they can't.
It's
Awful.
rough.
Oh,
Well, we know Pokemon's going to print more of these cards, so they just need to print it into oblivion so all these scalpers have these for no reason. But the bad thing is, and Sarah B. Joe brought it up, it's not only bad because people can't get the thing they want, this is going to discourage cool collaborations in the future. Because when the museum in Amsterdam sees what happens with this and they go, oh, God, this is supposed to be just fun and learning about art. Instead, it's this weird, disgusting scalper thing, and everybody's complaining.
if you're a
Okay.
scalper, you're not to that level, but you're close to scam callers in the way that I think about it.
I don't know what we have to do to stop this from happening. There's got to be some system of needing passwords or something.
I think that they should give me all the Pokemon cards and I decide who gets them.
Ooh,
Good idea.
Power just wants more power, huh?
Got her.
It's only natural.
Whoever gives the best compliment gets the holographic Charizard.
Exactly. You get it.
It is time for the Pokemon discussion of the week. Geese Peep, please tell us the name of the Pokemon episode in English. This time is episode 21.
The Lonely Hatenna.
Hatenna is
Or-
what I say?
The Lonely Hatenna. Or the Hatenna that's all alone.
It's
Or
like
in
the-
Japanese, Hitori Botchi no Miburimu. Glambos, we open on a dark and spooky night. And there's a baby Hatenna. She's running through the dark forest, and there's lightning and spooky music.
What an intro. Not even an inner monologue from Liko.
Some rookies, the little birds from Galar, pop out of nowhere, a little bit sneakily. And then a Drillbur approaches Geese, and he seems to be trying to comfort little scared Hatenna.
It's very cute, but she runs away because it's overwhelming.
She's just so spooked, even at the pokes that are presumably trying to help her. And she finds what I described as a cabin or shack in the woods, but we later learn its official title is Mountain Hut. So we will refer to it as Mountain Hut from now on.
They have these in Japan for pilgrims who do temple trails that they, travel around and visit certain temples and get like a signature from the guys. They have these
Stamp?
yeah, or they're like signatures. They're not stamps. It's like you get a fancy calligraphy thing. They have these accommodations like this for people who are doing that pilgrimage to stay for free.
Hatenna jumps in a box. That's the end of the intro. We cut to after the introductory song, The Great Salami, docked somewhere in Galar. Oh my God, Clambo, Sprigatito's so adorable, waving at the tablet for Liko's school.
I don't know if you two had this experience, but when she was talking to her roommate at school, I just said to myself out loud, I forgot she went to school.
Yeah.
She does remote learning. We see her friend from episode 1, Anne. She has the little
Anne?
Japanese snackle tooth. Yes, Geese.
I was just going to say that Anne just caught a Sandshrew.
Very exciting. I wonder when Liko's going to catch some new Pokemon.
I like the fact that Liko takes the same approach that I did, where I said, one Pokemon, not collecting anything else. As soon as I get a Bidoof, that's it.
No, my.
But she's Bidoof so strong.
She's got her Oshawott, and oh my God, Oshawott's so adorable. Oh my God. Anne asks Liko if she's done her essay, the Who I Want to Be essay. Nope. Liko has not done her essay. Anne tells Liko that she's going to write all about battling with Oshawott. And then that's when Sandshrew pops up. And Geese, Sandshrew and Oshawott are best friends.
It's very cute.
Oshawott is top 20 cutest Pokemon for me.
Oh,
I love Oshawott.
They're best friends. And Anne says point blank to Liko, it is episode 21 of the anime. What do you mean you don't have another Pokemon yet? Liko says she's just going to focus on Sprigatito instead. Sandshrew and Oshawott were so cute that I started tearing up, and then my nose started running.
Oshawott, just such a cute little Pokemon.
And then Dot's knocking on the door. It's time for the Galar Mine.
It's a very funny conversation. And I keep thinking about with the world of Pokemon and the interactions of people, how they're interacting with the world, how resources work, how culture works. The fact that they're on their remote learning thing and they're talking about, Liko, you should really train more Pokemon. I don't know, I'm going to focus on Sprigatito. What are you up to? Oh, I'm just going to the Galar Mine. Oh, that sounds sick. Bye. Like somebody just casually says, I'm going to a mine.
Yeah, I got to catch
the other
shiny
person
Rayquaza.
Just says, yeah, sure. Okay. Say no more.
And we cut straight to Liko and Roy and Fritos climbing a mountain trail. Let's get to the mine.
But first, what do they take?
10 hours of Liko inner monologue.
And a fork in the road, which is one of Pokemon's favorite things.
They do love forks in the road. Liko's just thinking about herself and Roy and Sprigatito. And I noticed in this scene, Captain Pikachu Clambos, he cannot smile to save his life.
He's not. He smiles sometimes.
Very rarely.
You have to be stern. If you're a captain and you're wearing a captain hat, you either have to be very silly, like a Gilligan, or you have to be stern.
I wish he had like a little fake beard.
That would be so cute. And a little pipe. Oh, imagine one arm crossed and the other one's just holding a pipe all the time. And him going, Pika, and nodding with his little beard.
Do what feels right, Liko. Is this something in her head, or is this something that Frito says? Do what feels right.
He says that all sorts of people are called trainers.
Oh, right.
And yeah.
She's got to figure out her thing.
The funny thing is she starts internalizing even that very, very assuaging advice, or advice meant to assuage her anxiety. So she starts internalizing it, and she's like, oh man, Anne knows what she wants to do. Roy knows what she wants to do, which is in direct contrast to what Frito's just said. He just said, do what feels right. And she's applying the opposite lesson to everybody around her. It's very funny.
And then Geese, Roy, and Fuecoco are just walking, humming their little song.
They are perfect for one another.
And now we finally reach Taylor's Crossroads. Our options are to go to a cabin to the left, or perhaps a dungeon from the video game series Ultima to the right. Roy chooses Ultima, and it was a bad pick because they get rained on, and then we cut to them running back to, they're going to go to the cabin. I'm sorry, the mountain hut. They're soaking wet. Oh, sick. Fritos lets everybody know that anybody can use this little hut, just like he said. They rush in from the torrential downpour. They're soaking wet, and little Sprigatito shakes off all the water.
Poor Fuecoco. He's all wet.
And he's a fire type. He doesn't want to be out in the rain.
For a fire type, he's wet a lot. He's always in the rain. He's always right next to an ocean.
Yeah, he loves it.
I mean, I think so. Wasn't he out in that storm with Roy?
Yeah, he there's nothing more he loves than the rain and water. Geese! Sprigatito sniffs something. What does she sniff?
She sniffs Hatenna.
In the little box, but Hatenna's just a baby.
Such a cute Pokemon. The art style with the little hair sweep reminds me of the characters from that one Daft Punk video.
Oh yeah, the blue guys.
Mm-hmm.
Geese, she's just a snoozing. Hatenna is the emotion Pokemon, like we discussed before.
When they were going over Hatenna and its reactions to emotions, so I don't know if you two do this. I talk at the video that I'm watching a lot. I just say, get Liko out of there right now.
Now, the anime must really love Hatenna, because didn't we have an entire Hatenna arc in the Aim to be a Pokemon Master series? Ash and the Hatenna?
I thought we did.
We did.
That sounds familiar.
No, those were mushrooms.
We definitely had a full Hatenna episode.
Hatenna is the mushroom hat Pokemon.
Anyway, everybody in the hut explain Hatenna's power and use a cafeteria divorce example about what Hatenna might feel like in any given situation.
I thought it was very interesting that Fritos was saying a marital spat.
Yeah, I'm concerned.
Made my eyebrows perk right up.
Fritos always causing marital spat.
Mhm.
But Geese, what does Liko do?
She recognizes there's something wrong with Hatenna, and she grabs her and rushes back to the ship.
She touches her little face, and she just knows something's wrong. She's gonna run to the salami through the pouring rain, through the downpour. Oh my God! Sorry, everybody. Hatenna does this little baby tiny smile, Geese. The tiniest little smile you've ever seen. So cute.
Very cute. Hatenna and Oshawott should be friends.
Hatenna must know that Liko's intentions are pure when she's running to go save her.
I was laughing so hard when Hatenna got stuck with Liko. Just thinking about Liko internalizing everything, just building up all of those emotions.
She's going to be so powerful. We cut to Slugma back in the salami, the great Asagi, brave Asagi. Is it great or brave? I don't even remember at this point.
Brave.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure great salami says it all.
Slugma and Carcole just being hot and making sure all the wet clothes dry off. The Nido Thing suit is getting warm. Now, they take Hatenna to Molly, the Pokemon doctor, on board. She says there's nothing wrong with Hatenna. Nothing physically wrong.
Oh.
No status effects.
But maybe, Clambos, maybe this little girl has a troubled heart. Did you guys notice how sad Chansey looks in this scene? It looks like
No, I didn't.
Chansey's received the worst news of her life. I may have to go back and screenshot that, but Chansey's so sad. I wrote down here, this seems like such a serious episode.
I mean, it does start out with a rainstorm and a Pokemon panicking.
Do you guys remember what music was playing here? Because I've written down here, this music, my word.
No, I don't.
Well, Liko asks if she can watch after Hatenna. We can't abandon her after all, Geese. And Sprigatito seems all right with the idea, because as you may recall, Geese, do you recall Sprigatito's behavior in the past when it came to Liko and other Pokemon?
A little jealous.
A little bit.
A little, yeah.
But seems like Sprigatito's pretty cool with the idea. Captain and Captain Pikachu and Fritos, they're fine with Hatenna being looked after by Liko. Liko gets her dry clothes. She decides she's going to bring the Nido Thing suit to Geese.
Dot.
And she's going to show off Hatenna to Dot.
And ask her some questions about what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a question. Earlier in the episode, when they were first looking at Hatenna, when they were using the Rotom to identify it, it had the Pokemon number on the screen. I thought that was really sick. Has that happened before, or is this the first time I'm noticing it?
They do it.
That's happened before.
You both of your questions, the answers would be the same.
Yeah.
He said, has this happened before, or is this the first time I've noticed it? And the answers are yes to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that a lot. I love it. Actually, for Scarlet and Violet, it was kind of a big deal. It was a long time before we actually had the actual national Pokedex numbers, because obviously when a new game comes out, they do their own regional Pokedex numbers, because their Pokedex doesn't include everything. So we were trying to figure out what poke goes where, and it was weird, and people were making all these theories and thinking, oh, well, this person's clearly, we have this many more Pokemon because this number's here, because people were working off of bad numbers.
Mm.
But then we finally figured it out, because we knew our boy Goldango was Pokemon number 1000, which he deserves to be, because you have to collect 1000 Gimme Ghoul coins to evolve into him. And Geese is making some faces.
He
What's
was
wrong?
the macaroni guy.
What, do you not like the macaroni Pokemon itself? Goldango?
Goldango, girls.
He looks like a PlayStation 2 character.
He's so sick. He surfs on a board made of gold.
Ooh, that's sick. Sounds like a Crash Bandicoot guy.
Yeah. Dot's talking about mean comments on her videos and how it makes her feel.
The unfortunate timing for that, because Hatenna's just nearby.
No, she's not. Where is she? Oh my God, Geese, what happened to Hatenna?
She ran away.
1 second we're petting Quaxley, and the next second she's gone. Let's all go search for her. And now it's a commercial break. And after the commercial break, we cut to Murdoch and Oreos enjoying an orange drink.
I love Oreos. She's great.
They're with Rockruff and they're with Elekid, and they're discussing the weather. They said maybe Rayquaza caused all this weather. Oh, hey, look, Hatenna's watching them talk. That should be fine, right? Nothing could possibly go wrong, Geese, but what happens?
They have a dispute, and Hatenna gets upset and runs away.
Oh, no, not an argument, Clambos. You know what happens if Hatenna hears an argument. Oh, no.
Would you two be able to take care of a Hatenna?
No, I was thinking that, not to spoil the end, but I'm thinking, is this a great idea? Because it seems like there's a lot of responsibility to everybody's always got to be on eggshells constantly around this Hatenna.
I could do it.
Geese could do it.
Could you, Geese? Could you?
I rarely get into arguments or disputes.
Well, it's about the subcutaneous emotions you're having. That's the scary thing. So I couldn't, because I'm not really an anxious person, but the idea of knowing that Hatenna can effectively read your inner emotions makes me feel anxious.
Oh, well then in that case, then yeah, no, I have deep, deep anxiety.
Because it's outwardly, you're good. You can just be nice and passive. But inwardly, it's going to know exactly what's going on.
Oh no, the argument's going to hurt Hatenna. Run away. The kids show up immediately afterward. They ask what's up. Adults act like they weren't arguing. Now, here's the problem. If everybody's saying they're not arguing, but poor Hatenna's got her emotions all fired up, and they use a little metaphor or a little turn of phrase that's used a couple times in this episode. They say, no, we're doing fine. We're like two puku muku in a pond. And Geese, what is revealed in this little scene? Murdoch says this is the first time he's
talked to Dot face to face in a while.
In ages, Clambos. Poor Dot.
Wow.
Always cooped up in a room. She never just has a conversation. But now Dot's finally coming out of her shell, and she's on the hunt for Hatenna, and she's fine just walking around with her face.
I do like the amount of character development that Dot has had.
Yeah.
Then we cut to Roy polishing the ancient Pokeball. He hasn't seen Hatenna either. But he's got a brilliant plan, Taylor. He's going to make a food trap to lure her in. But then what happens?
I like how I think it's Liko that says that there's not a single Pokemon that would fall for that trap. And then Fuecoco does, because he's hungry.
He's hungry.
I get it.
It's just a bowl of food in a cardboard box, and Fuecoco immediately.
Defense.
In his defense.
His character model is 90% mouth.
Yeah. Then we cut to all the pokes eating. Yum, yum, yum. But Geese, what does Alcremie notice hiding in the corner?
Alcremie notices Hatenna and scoops some of her food and offers it to her.
So adorable. But Hatenna runs away spooked again. Oh, poor Hatenna. Hatenna hears Ludlow going on about a proverb about unwanted feelings and tells Hatenna that shying away. It was late when I watched this episode. That shying away is an even greater hardship than dealing with her feelings. Let's split up, gang, and find Hatenna, like Scooby-Doo.
Splitting up in this case, I do think is a very good call.
Yeah. Now, at this point, Liko remembers that it was storming when she first got here on board the Salami. And she was also very lonely because at that point, the explorers in Amaranth had stolen her Sprigatito. We cut to Hatenna looking out of the window by Noctowl. And then, Geese, who shows up?
Liko shows up and sees Hatenna and is very cautious and gives her a distance to not spook her.
And they do that silly thing that happens in anime where you have two characters not looking at each other, talking on either side of a wall like that's how any conversation would ever happen.
Have you ever been to Japan, girls? Because they never look each other in the eye and have conversations like that all the time.
Yeah, but facing back to back?
Yes.
Oh, have you ever seen somebody walk past another person and talk to them like that? Because that happens in movies all the time.
My mom does that all the time. It drives me crazy. She'll like leave the room and like will be walking straight ahead and will yell something at me and I'm like, I can't hear you. You're facing the other way. You're also walking away.
So Guncan does that to me all the time. I just get, you maybe try this because she likes Downton Abbey. Just say, do you want to tell me what you just whispered to that wall?
You both need to get both of them mic'd up. And that way, no matter what direction they're facing, you can hear it in your earbuds. And I'm sorry, Taylor, can you close the door? I don't know what that door is doing being open, but I'm so nervous.
If we mic them up, then we're just going to hear the lip smackies all the time. It'll be awful. I'll get the door. Hang on 1 second. I'll be right back. Don't worry about it. I'm going to hurry back. Hang on 1 second. Yes,
Why are you
I'll be right back.
concerned about the door?
It scares me.
Yeah.
Why?
It's like
open
Hatenna.
Open doors make me nervous.
Yeah. Oh, you should see him with new principals at schools when they're like, I have an open door policy. Michael's just in the corner, shaking.
First off, dogs are going insane outside. Just second off, I need to know why was closing door a 3-step process? Because when it's just me closing the door, I pull the door closed. You touch the top of the door, pulled door, and then kicked something at the bottom of door.
I normally pull the top of the door to close it, but I had a sandal in the way of the door on the bottom.
I just had a sandwich propping it open.
It's a nice big old sandwich as a door stopper.
So Liko tells Hatenna that she also comes up to this Noctowl observation area to think. It's quiet. It's got a nice view. And Hatenna, Liko says, I relate to what you're going through. And there's a crazy violin that comes in at this point in the scene. It sounds like a Mother song from like their early albums. At first, she says she'll drop her off tomorrow. But, Geese, then we get the cutest little thing in the world. What does Hatenna jump into?
Liko's hoodie.
Oh my god, the little hood on her hoodie. Hatenna fits in there snug and cute.
It was very cute, the little jumping into it, but that just made me think of The Grudge. What is that? The Grudge 2 or The Grudge 3?
No, she's like a kitten, and she does little face snuggles with Liko. Oh my god. We cut to Hatenna snoozing in the hood. Roy says she's so good at getting through to Pokemon. Man,
snoozing
Liko,
in the hood.
Snoozing in the hood. Man, Liko, you're so impressive. You got through to Arboliva. You got through to Hatenna. You got through, you name it. You're so good with Pokemon.
It is weird that Arboliva has not come up at all.
Nah, they're always thinking about Arboliva.
It's just that Liko said earlier this episode, and I was thinking of this when she first said it, when Anne said, oh, you should get another Pokemon. I was thinking, oh, she has a legendary ancient ball full of a mystical Arboliva that she's ignoring. And Liko goes, no, I'm just going to focus on Sprigatito. So poor Arboliva.
Anytime Arboliva is not on screen, the other character should be asking, where's Arboliva? But she doesn't, she's not the trainer of Arboliva. It's fine. But
so how does that work? I thought Arboliva kind of acknowledged Liko as its trainer after they solved the whole forest issue.
No, Arboliva's trainer is the ancient man from the past.
What happens to Pokemon when the owner dies?
We've had this full conversation on this podcast. Like I said before, the Pokeball automatically knows that, and the Pokemon is released.
Yeah, so does that mean the trainer is alive?
I do believe he is alive. I believe it's a time traveler.
Oh my
Why
God.
are you acting like we haven't had this conversation?
A lot's been going on, you know? I had to close the door.
Well, it looks like Liko's in a better mood now, so that's great. That means Hatenna's going to be doing great. Sprigatito's playing in a box, having the time of its life. And then we cut to Liko writing. Is she doing her essay, Clambos? Who's to say? Maybe just a little journal?
Journaling.
And she's writing all about, this is the nighttime, by the way. She's writing all about how Hatenna must have been alone all the time, just running from any emotions. And she says, well, I just wrote here, good night, everyone. I don't know if somebody said good night or that was just me talking to the show, but all her Pokemon, all the Pokemon are falling asleep, and it's so cute. We cut to the next morning, Geese, and the weather is cleared up. Oh, Hatenna's still so relaxed in the hood. And Liko's talking to Molly and Oreos.
The rain is gone, so it's time to bring her back home.
It turns out, Clambos, that specifically Liko's personality led Hatenna to feeling comfortable around her. But oh no, Geese! Oreo and Molly get into a little argument. It's gonna get Hatenna worked up, Geese.
She's fine.
They say sorry. They say, oh, no, it's cool. We're good. We're sorry. And then I have written down here, Faltos comes in. I don't know who Faltos is.
Frito.
Oh, okay.
Frito's like, let's go.
Let's go, guys.
And I think he says that she would struggle living somewhere with such strong emotions.
Yeah. Well, guys, I guess we gotta go drop Hatenna off, bring her back by the mountain shack.
Bring her back by the mountain shack.
All right, Geese. This is the scene. So we're here. We're by the mountain hut. We're saying our goodbyes to Hatenna. But then, what does Sprigatito do, Geese?
She goes and she talks to Hatenna. And then Hatenna jumps into Liko's arms. And Liko's like, you want to come with me?
Oh my God. Sprigatito convinced Hatenna to journey with them.
Which is very cute. Sprigatito's having her own little emotional development arc.
And Hatenna's getting all bashful, and both Liko and Hatenna have these little blushing marks on their face.
I laughed so hard at the shot of Hatenna blushing. It's so funny to me.
And then Hatenna talks for the first time. She says, and Liko's so happy that she got to hear Hatenna talk. Maybe there's some parallel.
Wait, Taylor, do it.
Me. And then it looks like there's some parallels with Dot in Hatenna's development. And then what does Fritos give to Liko, Geese?
A Pokeball.
He's very on point with those. Anytime somebody's even thinking about a poke, he's like, I got you.
There you go, Pokeball.
I want to see him bring one out, and then somebody says, I just don't think you should come with us. I don't think it's the right decision. And then he just quietly puts it back in his pocket.
Yeah, that'd be some good. I don't know if that's Japanese humor. I don't know if they do that, but that is very funny. So everybody's doing the little blush, and then the Harry Potter music comes in real big, the whole score from John Williams or whoever, and she caught Hatenna. Oh my God.
And I think Roy remarks that this is something Liko could only do. Open her heart to a Pokemon.
Yep. What a farcical concept.
Well,
for Roy, who just quietly cheers the name of his Pokemon partner.
No, Hatenna would have only gone with Liko. That's the whole reason Hatenna went with him, because of Liko's emotion. And then there's a cute, adorable little handshake between Hatenna and Sprigatito, and the compliments for Liko's just started flowing. Oh my God, Liko must feel so good about herself. And I laughed. I screenshotted it. Liko says, I love Pokemon. And I thought to myself, who doesn't, Liko?
It was very funny. Has there ever been a character who really had a bad relationship with Pokemon? Not like a specific Pokemon, but Pokemon in general?
They just hate Pokemon. Yeah, there's characters like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they exist. They're like the people who can't use magic in Harry Potter.
Even villain Pokemon trainers have a good relationship with Pokemon. Like Giovanni had his Persian that he was always petting.
Well, we finally did it, Clambos. Liko has found her calling. She's found what kind of trainer she wants to be, and she is going to
Be a trainer that learns more about how Pokemon feel.
Yeah.
And hopefully considers maybe therapy in addition to journaling, because this is a volatile situation that poor Hatenna has gotten herself into.
We did it. Now on to Rayquaza. Dun-ba-da-ba. The episode's over. Or is it? We cut to the explorer's submarine.
So sick. So sick. The return of Amaranth.
Amaranth is going to disobey a direct order. He was told he's off the case, but he's going in anyway. And his lackeys are gonna follow him to the death. Bum, bum, bum. To be continued. Oh my God.
Something very sick about this scene that doesn't happen a lot. I always like how little kids' movies do stuff that grown adult movies don't. The villain here cares about his subordinates. That never happens. You always have these goofball caricature villains who are always betraying each other, backstabbing each other. One of the first times that I had seen any degree of empathy was Alice in Borderland, where there's like some villains that care about one another. And it happens in the movie featuring Snake Eyes, one of the G.I. Joe movies. And it's happening here, where he says, hey, I'm a villain, but I want you guys to know what situation you're getting into. And they're like, no, we're loyal to you because you're sick. And he says, well, okay. And he's just sitting there with his Sarah Ledge. So sick.
All right, Geese, you know what time it is. The episode's over. It can only mean one thing.
Bathroom breaks.
Seminars.
Pokemon seminars.
Seminars. We
Today's
are seminars. Ahoy there.
I remember watching the Backyardigans as a child.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, today's Pokemon is Hatenna, the calm Pokemon. This Pokemon likes quiet places without people nearby. And I'm like, same girl. The hat-like protrusion on his head can pick up certain things. Do you know what it can pick up? Is it A, radio waves, B, trends, or C, emotions?
Emotions.
That's correct. Hatenna is constantly picking up on the feelings of other creatures. That's why it's often found in quiet places. But if one calms feelings, she may go as far as hopping on your head without warning.
Which we do get an adorable picture of Hatenna on Captain Pikachu's head with Captain Pikachu's little cap on top of Hatenna. Very cute.
I feel like Fritos would be the perfect owner or the perfect partner for Hatenna. Or what's his name? The
Grandpa?
old guy, the old
Ludlow.
fishing guy,
Ludlow.
He would be very good for Hatenna.
Although
I'll bet we see a lot of shots of them hanging out.
To be fair, I don't recall them ever saying his name in the anime. I just know it from official documents. His name's Ludlow.
I thought they said Ludlow a few
They
times.
They've said it before.
They must have at least one.
Were either of you two like this, where you saw Ludlow and you thought, I wonder what character's wearing an old person costume?
No.
Yep.
No, you guys are
That's also what I thought.
No. No. No.
Noir.
All right, everybody. How did you feel about this episode? Before the wrap up.
Good. I'm glad that Liko got another Pokemon. And I'm glad it's a cute one rather than an ugly one.
Geese. There are no ugly pokes.
Name one ugly Pokemon, Geese. That's right, you can't.
Macaroni Man.
Gold Dango is everybody's favorite.
Macaroni Dingo is doing his own thing, and you can't be mad
Geese,
at him.
do you have any idea how powerful Gold Dango was in the early games of raiding in pardon me, Scarlet Violet? Do you realize how powerful his ability is? Good as gold.
That's
Couldn't do anything to him.
Status
Status effects, get out of town. He's not going to be affected by him. He's so powerful. He's a ghost type.
Whoa.
He's so sick. He's so powerful. You could solo big giant raids with him. Geese Peep. Coltango's sick.
I'll try to get one.
He may be sick, but he's still ugly.
No, we don't judge Pokemon by their appearance because it's not even the same thing.
Okay, we let's go back to the episode. This episode,
I was very unenthusiastic for most of it, unless I was laughing at the idea of Marapeep being shackled to Liko, the most emotional person that we've had in the history of the show.
Okay, you can't just like if the name kind of sounds like it, then the joke works. But if you just
What did I say?
If you just say you said
What did I say?
You said Marapeep, but her name is Hatenna.
Why does my brain do that? Why do I think it's called Marapeep? What am I doing?
That's what
with
Geese
my head?
called him a reap once, I think.
Years
ago.
Okay.
But that's an
Uh,
electric
Hatenna.
sheep, not a. Okay.
Sorry. Okay. So that was completely unintentional. Hatenna being shackled to Liko is just very, very comical to me. I like that we got the return of Amaranth because that means there's some interesting stuff that's going to happen. I assume that means that they're done with their little side quests. So now they're going to get some headway with
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad episode. Hatenna's cute. I like cute episodes, right?
I'd give this one if I had to rate it, like a 4 out of a 10 in that kind of region where I didn't like it. It was fine, but I'd say slightly below average.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. It was fine.
You agree with a 4 out of 10?
Maybe a 5.5.
Wow, those are terrible reviews.
Well, okay, so I also kind of subscribe to the 5 is average.
It's not 7. Anything below 7 is terrible. 8's good, 9's really good, and 10's perfect.
If we're going by the 5 to 10 scale, then I would say it's probably like a 6.5.
Anyway, it was okay. But the thing is, we just found the Hatenna, and then quickly all the episode took place on the Salami, and it kind of ran away a little bit. Like, not...
Yeah.
Eh.
I wasn't captivated.
Well, that's because they used a lot of time for not a lot to happen. And none of us particularly love Liko as a character. She's mainly just thinking. It's a whole lot of sitting and thinking.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say not possible to grade. Can't. I'm sorry. I'm very apathetic towards this episode, I guess. But it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm just repeating myself. Geese, let's go into the wrap up maybe tomorrow. I mean, next week we'll probably have a big, exciting episode, so you'll hate it, but Taylor will like it.
Oh, it's going to be so sick. It's going to be so sick. Amaranth's coming back. The flaming Amaranth.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. You can follow us on social media at Look, Listen, Cast on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you to Keith for our artwork. You can follow him on twitch.tv/KeithSquared.
Shouts out Professor Ticklebits for the boilerplate and the website. You can watch him on twitch.tv/prof_ticklebits. Thank you to all our supporters. You can support us by going to looklistencast.com or clicking the link on the little podcasts apps. Please recommend this podcast to your friends, especially grandmas and nephews, because it is family friendly. No swear words here. And also, please send your questions to looklistencast@gmail.com. We have a world record now, I think, most questions in a row. Rock Party, thank goodness. Thank you so much, Rock Party. Next week will be somebody else.
Shout out to Rock Party.
Because I got some more questions after this Rock Party question. But Rock Party asks, what was your first experience with Pokemon? Mine was playing Blue in 2000 with a friend in a typing class senior year and completing the Pokedex. And Geese did the biggest eyes I've ever seen when she heard senior year.
I was 3.
It's hard to say first experience because I'm trying to think, what is the first Pokemon thing I saw? I don't actually remember if it was TV show, card game, or video game.
They did such a good job. I've never seen anything else like it. When Pokemon released in the US, they hit 3 fronts so well, just so effectively. They had the trading card game, which was collectible and playable in person. They had the video game and the TV show. And it was just this amazing, all-encompassing event.
the toys, the board games, the books, the coloring books. Then you had the big promotions with Burger King, McDonald's later. You
When
had
I
the
think of
movie, the biggest Japanese film in the United States to make money, in a theater
yeah,
of all time.
it's when you look at the size of Pokemon and just how vast that kingdom is, they earned it. They did what a launch of a intellectual property.
I wasn't a baby. I was the perfect age for Pokemon. So I was the
Yeah.
age that the trainers were, like 10 years old. So it was
Mhm.
absolutely perfect for me. I very clearly remember getting my first Pokemon game. I remember being in the kitchen of my grandma's old house. I remember receiving that box, and I was so excited. It was Pokemon Blue, but it did feel a little bit weird because by the time I got it, Game Boy Color was already out. So it was weird seeing something say Game Boy and not Game Boy Color along the side. Oh my god, that was so exciting. And I, of course, remember the Christmas opening my first Pokemon cards. So exciting. My first card was Lapras. I remember seeing in a deck.
Ooh, that's a good first card.
I remember my first Pokemon experience is watching reruns of the original Pokemon anime on TV.
Yeah,
Reruns.
certainly watched a lot of Pokemon on TV too.
My first experience was actually at daycare. So I went
Oh.
to a Christian daycare when I was younger. And we had a bunch of different age kids kind of hanging out and everything. And I had never heard about Pokemon. I was watching a lot of, at the time, Dragon Ball Z. I was a bigger Gundam Wing fan than anything else,
Oh.
but Pokemon was also on. I had just never seen it. So this one kid was humming to himself the song, the theme song, but it wasn't right. And I still remember how he was singing it. So he would go, "Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon." And he just kept humming that or singing that. And I just kept saying, "What's that?" So I went and I immediately started watching the show as soon as I could see the next episode, fell in love with it. I got my first game, which was Pokemon Red, along with a Prima strategy guide.
Prima?
For Christmas. Yeah, Prima, sorry. And it was a great time. I can't remember how I got into the cards, but I loved
That's
all
so
of it.
sick. Pokemon was so sick, you guys. You have no idea. I mean, Pokemon's very popular, obviously, but if you weren't there, even Geese is too young to know. It was everybody on the playground, everybody trading cards. Every single school had to shut down Pokemon trading because
That did happen to our school as well.
Really?
Yeah.
there's so many parents upset that their kids traded away a better card, and oh my god. It was
It just such a cultural event.
I was going to
I've never
Pokemon
seen something like that.
I was going to Pokemon League every single week on Saturday.
I was doing that a little bit, but I had so few cards compared to everybody else.
We had it at a Toys R Us once too.
We would play it at swim meets a lot.
Swim meets?
Mhm. Yep, because those started at 6 in the morning, and
Oh
you would
my
normally only swim, like, 4 or 5 events spread out,
Yeah.
so it would go for about 10 hours.
We played poker at swim meets.
Nice.
Wait, were you a swimmer?
Yeah, I did swim team
No
for like
way.
8 years.
What? What was your stroke?
Breast.
Me too.
Sick.
I was supposed to go to the Olympics, and instead, I got very heavy.
Oh.
Yeah. I was pretty quick.
Speaking of kids singing, you ever had a kid in school sing a song and then he'd lie and say, "Oh, I made that up.
Yes.
I made up that comedy song
Absolutely.
myself. That's
Yep.
not from a movie. I made it up." I can't believe I was stupid enough to believe him.
I
When
mean, what reference did you have? Like, what perspective did you have?
when I finally heard that song, I thought, "You lying." Oh my god.
Just the gall to say that is pretty impressive.
Whatever. All right, Clambos. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Rock Party, for the question. So much. Invaluable.
Great question.
Clambos, it's time to go. My tumbo's rumbling. I haven't had a drip of coffee today.
I gotta let old Charlie out to go to the bathroom.
Please don't
Aw.
use euphemisms like that, Taylor. Okay. Now, everybody say goodbye.
Goodbye.
But Geese has to do it more than twice.
Goodbye.
And now for the people in the rafters.
Bye.
Oh, shoot.
Bye.
Howdy, y'all. It's me, Geese Pete. Thank you for listening to the Geese Pete Productions podcast.
Geese Peep Enterprises, doing business as Peep Industries, together with its subsidiaries, is a diversified worldwide entertainment company with operations in media networks, talent management, parks and resorts, multimedia entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Geese Peep Enterprises is a Dow 30 company.